This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome, it's the Troll Patrol Live. We're live on YouTube, Facebook. The podcast is going up. Fortunately, the podcast from last night got taken down. Apparently, there was a lot of copyright music popped up, and I'm having to fight Spotify over it. I had to actually send an email to Spotify and be like, please put my episode back up. It was a public event from Mount Rushmore and the National Mall. Welcome in, Quesadilla, Warlord, Pantless. Everybody that was watching the classic television specials with me on Twitch beforehand. 1011, welcome in. Good to see you, friend. Quesadilla, Clinically, Flow, Cuscus, Locomotion over on the YouTube. Fuzzy Simba, welcome in. We are moments away from the beginning of the festivities. I mean, the fair has been going on all day, but the actual official start of whatever is Salute to America begins right here at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We're going to take it. Trump set to speak around 9:45 Eastern Time, so about 2.5 hours. 2:45 from now, I believe. Which is weird because fireworks are probably about 2 hours from now. Not sure how all this is going to play out. If you were with me for last night's speech, man, was it weird. It had a different feel to it. Long time no see. I'm sorry I had to cut you guys off and come back to it. You had never heard of The Simpsons? Did you really just say that to me, Holiday? Really? Kelly says she thinks she picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue. I think we should totally get high for this. Absolutely. Let's go on over to the National Mall. All guests must seek shelter in the various white tents on the left and right. Oh, they're having to delay the event.
Please remain calm, follow the directions of law enforcement and event staff, and stay tuned for Freedom 250's official channels for updates. Freedom 250
there is a huge storm.
Please stay close to our official
threatening DC right now. Yeah, you can see the sky.
Three, two.
And so there is the official announcement
That's
from
a
those
fucking
who are
cool
organizing
stage.
the Salute to America when it comes to asking those attending there in Washington, D.C. to take shelter as concerns about weather coming in. Some of the various pictures that we've been showing you, some video, the flags are flying very furiously, so to speak, when it comes to the winds that are kicking up. Again, that is prompting the organizers there to ask people, as you heard, to go into tents, to take shelter, and to wait it out.
The gods are not happy.
The events to take place, when they exactly will take place, we do not know at this time. But as you heard the announcer say, that the organizers are keeping track.
I think the storm is moving in now, and I think it's a pretty significant storm.
We will continue to show you not only there from Washington, D.C., dealing with its own weather issues, other areas of the United States dealing with weather as well and postponing events related to Independence Day. But we will carry on. And if you want to stay with us and talk and join us when it comes to the celebration.
I don't think you want me to call back in, Pedro. I tried to call last night and apologize.
And telling us what you think about America.
Drenching evening
at 250 years
thunderstorms.
old. Here's how you can let us know.
Storms that can bring destructive winds and downpours.
Time zones, it's 202-748-8000. And for the Mountain and Pacific time zones, it's 202-748-8000.
It looks like it's supposed to clear up by the 9 o'clock hour.
If you want to text, you can do that at 202-748-8003. And post on our social media sites, too. At C-SPAN WJ is how you post on X. And on Facebook, that's Facebook.
See the radar here.
/C-SPAN. As you watch the events
there were
in
actually
Washington,
people there.
let's go to Tammy.
Ooh, yeah, that's
who's
not
out
looking
there,
good.
Who will give us an update of what she's seeing firsthand in light of this new announcement. Hi, Tammy.
Reagan building. We'll keep you updated.
It's surrounded by storms.
But we're just keeping you advised at this time.
I'm on AccuWeather right now, and it's saying
Museum, Department of Commerce, and the Ronald Reagan
storms,
for your cooperation.
70% chance in the 8 o'clock hour, clearing up in the 9 o'clock hour, but still
again,
50-50 on rain.
An update when it comes to weather is forthcoming. Bill in Florida, thanks for sticking with us as we cover America at 250. Bill in Lakeland, Florida. Hello, go
At least
ahead.
we get C-SPAN calls.
Yes, I am. Was in the Navy. My dad was in the Navy. I had a brother in the Air Force and a brother in the Coast Guard. And I'm a member of the SAR because I'm related to almost every president in the United States.
Terry, Princess Kimberly.
Okay.
He's related to all the presidents.
He's in Kentucky. Hello.
Hello, Pedro. Good evening to you. I've been listening to C-SPAN for a couple years now. Love Washington Journal, and have been watching all day today. It's been so much fun seeing the coverage, and just had to call in. I love America. You know, my wife and I, we've got a boy turning 2 tomorrow, and we brought another one home just a couple weeks ago. And I'm very optimistic about the future of America. And just listening to the call-ins today, I think that I think a lot of people are optimistic. So,
What do you base your optimism on?
I base it on the fact, 250 years, this country, it looks very different institutionally, socially, but as I heard a lady say this morning, America endures because it is a grand idea, and I think people, wherever they come from, they embrace that idea and they want to live up to it.
If I was to call C-SPAN, I would apologize to Pedro, but they would just hang up on me again.
Optimism, and I think the future is going to be bright for our boys. And I just wanted to call in and say,
because I love C-SPAN. Park Forest, welcome in, friend.
Happy Independence Day.
Jacob in Kentucky there. Let's hear another perspective on this Independence Day from Kurt. Kurt in California. Kurt, hello there.
Oh, Pedro.
Kurt, are you there?
Yep.
Go for
Can
it.
you hear me?
Yep, go for it.
All right, man. So thank you for allowing me this opportunity. Today is my 39th anniversary to be married with my wife. We got married on 4th of July, Independence Day. Can you imagine that, getting married on Independence Day on a yacht, Newport Beach? It's like, yep, what we're going to do. Hey, bro, and check this out. My dad and my wife's dad, they joined the military and the Air Force when they were like 16 years old. They lied about their age just so they can go protect the country that we live in. You and I are so grateful.
I feel like this dude's full of shit.
At this moment. Thank God for this wonderful country. Pedro, thank you for giving me this space and this little time to talk to you. I appreciate you. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to watch C-SPAN and to appreciate what you guys do. God bless America. Happy 4th of July. Hurrah!
Okay, that's Kurt there in California. Waking up very early on normal
Well, maybe
days
they were a
to
Marine,
be
and that
part of what we
explains
do
it.
here at C-SPAN. Very special programming, out of the ordinary in the sense for us when we're bringing you 2 days of coverage of America at 250 years old on this Independence Day. We started at 7 a.m. yesterday. We will continue on through the early morning hours, giving you the sights and sounds of what's going on across the United States. Let's go to Jason. He is in New York. Hello, Jason.
Light one up, tip one back.
Hello. Thanks for having me on. My view or my opinion is, freedom, diversity, and liberty of America. I served 4.5 years in the United States Army.
Okay. What do you think your time in the Army taught you about how you feel
Freedom
to take in Florida? Kurt, hello there.
Let me call Pedro and apologize.
Is Marianne from Maryland? Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Hello. Yes, I'm very proud to be an American, and I watch C-SPAN quite often, and I have really enjoyed your show today. I've been on all day long, and I just want to say how proud I am that you all are on there to tell us everything that's going on in the world. So, it's a wonderful country to be in. I have no desire to be.
I don't know what
anywhere
law
else.
or what line she called in on.
Almost 84 years old, and just want to say a happy anniversary to the United States.
How do you celebrate on the 4th? Do you get together with family, or what else do you do?
No, I'm sitting here in the air condition in my house because it's like 100 degrees outdoors, and I can't handle the heat. So I'm just enjoying it, and I really want to thank you all for having a show like this. It's a lot better to watch you all on the C-SPAN than it is to get on a news station and have them tell you what you had just heard.
Well, I need to know which one they called in on, so I know
I really love
when to call.
C-SPAN, so
Well, Marianne, stay out of the heat. Enjoy the programming. We're glad to bring it to you. Those of you that are watching the screens right now, in some cases, people are
I'll pick it
out
up
of the
next
heat.
time
In
around.
the case of Washington, what you're seeing there are people being being moved to other places as they wait out possible concerns over weather. We showed you that picture of the weather map as it's coming in. Those green area, those orange and yellow areas that are of concern for those watching and planning on when this event, when is the scheduled start time, indicating weather and lightning. So as it plays out, we will keep showing to you. We'll take your calls as well. In the upper left-hand side of your screen, Boston. We heard from C-SPAN Sarah Balick about some weather being the issue of people going in to shelter in place at MIT and wait out, as Sarah was describing, concerns over rain in Philadelphia. On the bottom left of your screen, blue skies there as well. And on the other side of that, the Liberty Bell. Part of our cameras.
They may have to
and
clear
our,
their crew out.
Various sources
in DC.
bringing you this programming. Let's go to Keith. Keith in Cleveland, Tennessee. Hello. Go ahead, please.
Okay, he's on the Eastern
Hello,
time zone.
Pedro. What a wonderful day it is today to celebrate our 250th anniversary of America. I'm 62 years old. I was 12 years old in 1976, living in Mississippi when we celebrated the 200th anniversary. It was a great celebration then. I remember it vividly. All the ships, all the different celebrations, the fireworks. It was the greatest celebration that I had ever seen. And I was looking forward to this celebration for 250. I've listened to many calls, and I want to assure everyone that our country is great because power changes. In my lifetime, I was born in 1963. The longest any party has been in power of the presidency is 12 years. And if you don't like who's at president or who's in power at the moment, just be patient. It will change.
Brother, the billionaires have been in charge the entire time I've been alive.
Just be patient, and it'll change.
And both parties are beholden to
We have a
them.
great country, and because power changes, not one person can take control. Most countries, one person can be in control for many, many years. So thank God that the people who wrote in the Declaration of Independence knew that power should not be with the government, but should be with the people.
Keith there in Cleveland, Tennessee, one of the people keeping safe, but here to tell us a little bit about what's going on in the scene there in Washington, D.C. Tammy Thuringer, take it away, Tammy. Tammy, are you there?
I might have been a little too late to start calling because it's about a 30-second delay.
Okay, we will check back in. Again, in Washington, D.C., they're being asked to shelter in place.
They could also
weather
just have me
announcements that
blocked.
you heard the officials there at Freedom 250 talk about. We're waiting to see what's going to happen and when the program will resume. Lori in Wyoming. Hi there.
Hi.
You're on.
I just want to say I am so happy to be in America. It is the greatest country. And normally we were up on the Bighorns camping. This year we decided to stay down and celebrate. But what we normally do with fireworks got canceled because of dryness. So we're just sitting here at home watching all the celebrations that you guys are all doing on TV. My husband's like, it breaks our heart not to be up camping, but we're enjoying watching all the celebrations that you guys have going. And God bless the United States.
So if I get this right, July 4th.
I saw some dude comment that like blah 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 had ruined Ireland. Ireland was this peaceful, idyllic country, and I'm like, peaceful? Read a goddamn history
we just
book.
load up our camper and head up to the Bighorns and find a spot in the Bighorns somewhere and spend the weekend camping. And
Okay, Lori there, watching television when she and her husband wish to be camping. I'm sure a lot of people wishing that they were out and about in various places, celebrating this Independence Day, weather or other things keeping them from doing that. In Colorado, Susie is up next. Hi, Susie.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I have really enjoyed looking at C-SPAN. I went to the fireworks last night in our small town, and
Did
then
you
I
say
turned on
C-SPAN?
C-SPAN to see the first parade of the year.
In Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Yes, I thought it was hysterical that somebody has a parade at midnight, and it made me so happy to see that. And so I thought, oh, Lord, this morning is going to be awesome. And then to see all of the different ways small towns celebrate the 4th of July has just been fantastic. And all over the United States, how wonderful it is.
Well, I mean, as long as we're waiting,
thank
we
you
might as well
for
get more
doing
high,
this.
right?
And it's made me smile so much.
Why do you,
I'm like,
when you watch these smaller towns and other things, what goes through your mind when you see these celebrations and the fact that we still do this so many years later?
it just makes me so joyous that all of these small towns do it with their children and their parents and their loving grandparents, because I am also getting up there, and I am 64, and my sons are younger, a little younger, and my parents have passed, but it's lovely to see that it's still going on, and I can remember the last one, and I can remember when I was celebrating the last 50th, and and it just, I'm hoping that when we get to be 300 that it is still going on, and our country has still got the same joy, and we have the same respect for people.
Okay.
And
Susie there in Colorado, thanks for letting us know.
I
Susie,
do not hope
Tennessee
that.
is what
I
you're
hope
seeing
we
on
actually
your
gain respect
screen
for,
right now,
for people.
part of
'cause
these celebrations that are taking place across the United States.
This country is wild.
There,
This is Nashville,
waiting for
Tennessee.
activity to start. If you go to
Broadway.
Washington, D.C., crowds of people are moving to
I know
safer
exactly where they're
locations. Tammy Thuringer is amongst the crowd in light of this recent announcement. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Pedro. A lot's changed since I talked to you earlier. It's dropped about 10 degrees. They've also made an announcement for everyone to evacuate the grounds. At first, they just asked that people take shelter. You may see those white tents set up throughout the area. And just a few minutes after they asked people to move to those, they announced a full evacuation. They listed a couple nearby buildings and asked people to orderly exit the grounds and take shelter in one of those. A lot of people are moving. There are a lot of others who.
Okay, so this is going to be a big deal.
Started making their way to the exit.
I wonder if Trump
Yes.
is furious.
I did just speak with a U.S. Park police officer. He told me that they are citing the lightning strikes. There have been a lot of
How
lightning
much ketchup
strikes.
are on the
You can
walls?
Very clearly see the storm moving in. There is actually
I wasn't
lightning
ready
strikes
yet.
right now.
I
as
was
I said
repacking
that.
my bong.
I asked him if he thought this means that this event will be shut down. And I mean, completely off the record, but what he said is no, that he imagines people will be let back in once the storm passes, whenever that is.
Like in an hour and a half.
Organized and moving out. Where are you in approximation to them?
And sports fans, you can tell me there's like a 30-minute rule,
we are.
right?
Our crew
Like it has to be like
is
30 minutes
part of
before the
crowd.
last,
We were told to pack up.
since the
That's
last
why you're
lightning
not seeing
strike.
our camera shot
Before you can
anymore,
like start an
'cause we
event
are
back
moving
up.
off. We've packed up and we're making our way out, following those instructions as well. Absolutely taking the precautions as they come.
Fantastic, and continue to do so. Tammy, thank you so much for the update. You can't see it, but in other parts of Washington, D.C., dark skies looming, and which
I
suggests...
fucking love it that all around D.C.
about
clear
those
skies. Look at Philadelphia, Boston, but
thunder
D.C.
and, related lightning that are
getting hammered
concerns to
right at
those
the perfect time.
organizers
This is
of the
beautiful.
Salute to America. Alexander joins us from Washington, D.C. Hi, Alexander. What do you think of America 250 so far, particularly being in D.C.?
Hi. Yeah, no, it is amazing. Heard the planes all day. It's a true celebration, and it's historical, so it feels really crazy to be able to go to the Smithsonian, get some souvenirs, and celebrate our country. I just wanted to say I'm part of Gen Z, and I want those listening to know that we love America, and we're patriotic, and we want this country to last forever. So we are in the same boat, and have some faith in us. Thank you.
Alexander, before you go, we've been talking about weather in D.C. What's it like where you are weather-wise?
Yeah, so it is windy. Let me tell you, there is some scattered rain that is coming in from Arlington, I believe. So we are inside. We had to go inside. It is wild out there.
Okay, that's Alexander here in Washington, D.C. Let's hear from Josie as well. Josie in Ohio. Josie, hello there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well,
It is
thank you.
Bright sunshine, hot here in Mainville, actually Landon. I'm real close to Kings Island.
Mm-hmm.
But it's bright sunshine, and I've got my
Wait, is Kings Island still a thing?
girlfriends here. We've been having a little party since about 4 o'clock this afternoon. All the Americana classic foods, corn on the cob, watermelon, hot dogs, Italian sausages, we got it all. And we're excited to see all of the activities going on TV.
I don't think Italian
All the
sausages are
the
classic
weather.
American food.
I
It's
hope
in the
it
name.
pans out so that we
Italian
can see
sausage.
this fantastic upcoming
Is that Air Force One?
Right?
Fireworks are scheduled
That is,
to be
isn't
part of the activity that we're watching. We're seeing now, though, from Washington, D.C., even though in light of this weather, I think you saw a little bit of Air Force One fly by as part of a demonstration there. But go ahead, Josie.
Oh, so Trump's not on it. They're just demonstrating
We're so
it.
enjoying being glued to the TV since, well, we had it on since 4.
Okay.
And it's been really, really just incredible. We have an incredible military, don't we? Huh? Look at those guys. That's incredible. And women, men and women. It's just wonderful. We're excited. 250th
Sounds woke to
birthday
me.
of America. And I was watching CET a little bit earlier with the history of our country, and encourage everybody to go check out Hillsdale for awesome, in-depth American history. Our country is wonderful.
I assume she means
And
Hillsdale College,
I'm
which
so
is
proud
like
to be an
fucking.
American. God bless America.
It's a nut job
And
right
I'm glad
wing
that we are again
college.
claiming victory under our God. And very proud to say that.
Okay, that's Josie there in Ohio.
Claiming
Here's
victory under our God. These people
still
are
aerial
goddamn
demonstrations
nuts.
taking place. Let's watch a little bit of what's going on. Okay, so there's, even though weather is a concern causing pauses when it comes to the start of that salute to America, still planes flying overhead in Washington, D.C. These are part of aerial demonstrations that have been scheduled in the lead up to the salute to America. That was supposed to start.
They think they've won the culture.
20 minutes ago.
They killed the woke.
Now, as we've told you over the last couple of minutes, weather's still a concern there, so we will wait and see.
It doesn't look too bad.
Still continue to show you some of these aerial demonstrations as we go along into the evening hours. And also have a chance to talk to Doug Brinkley of Rice University, historian and perspective when it comes to the American Revolution. Joined us earlier today, joins us again. Mr. Brinkley, welcome back.
Well, I wish I was here when it was a little happier in Washington.
Nope, it's the Qatari jet.
Hopefully the fireworks will continue.
Pantless, he took his first flight on it on Tuesday or Wednesday.
It very well is. You still see people out and about milling. We've had people call us and tell us about their interest and intention on celebrating. What do the celebratory aspects of today mean when it comes to taking a look at it from a historical lens?
Well, you know, I thought in New York Harbor today was magnificent with the tall ships. And you got to see, you know, these rigs from all over the world, you know, Argentina, you know, Italy, you know, beautiful, Spain. And so that worked well because of the water features. But anywhere people are going, it's just they're dying for water and dehydration. We've had mass deaths recently in London for heat, France. I mean, we are living in an age of climate. And there's now a, you know, in many ways, it's affecting the way people are celebrating today. You have to have a canteen or have water, access to water to be out in the heat. But I think they're doing the right thing to postpone, delay here right now, because you don't need people passing out or, you know, thinking they're going to a concert of some kind and they don't have proper water to stay hydrated.
Mr. Brinkley, I'm sure you've seen, along with a lot of our viewers, a lot of celebrations connected to the 250th anniversary of America. What does this anniversary date suggest to you as far as where we are?
Well, look, it's a big one. You know, you've been doing all day C-SPAN, talking to many people that remember 1976 and the bicentennial, and it was meaningful. I mean, there was so much. Every restaurant, hamburger joint, you know, was selling merch and gear in America. 200, obviously 250s.
Yeah, don't have
that ring of the round numbers. That 200.
Oh no, it
but
does.
Was a big build up for this. President Trump.
I think 250 is kind of bigger than 200.
250, and has poured all this energy just within the last
quarter of a century
out at Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, opening in Medora, North Dakota.
A quarter of a millennia.
More claiming tonight be the biggest ever rally, the biggest Trump rally ever. He's turned 250 into a Donald Trump event in many ways. And then there's
that's what I said yesterday.
That's been working with the National Archives, presidential libraries, having founding documents travel the country, and that will continue. But, you know, I think in the end, people love the evening, the fireworks, the barbecue, the cheeseburgers, the fellowship, the fraternity that you get from July 4th. And people like myself, scholars, we do the best we can to tell stories about George Washington, Martha Washington, Mary Washington, you know, and put it in perspective what the American Revolution was and meant. There have, you know, been many books.
Don't know about George's long-lost brother Henry, do you?
I mean, Ted Widmer, a first-rate historian, just brought out with the Library of America all of our founding documents, and Walter
Pantless, I heard an interview from Lex Luger, and it was from a few years back.
The Declaration of Independence.
Lex Luger, the
was,
professional wrestler, he was a bodybuilder before he got into wrestling.
Ben Franklin and the like.
They asked him like what his
planners that were really geared up for
favorite
and
like
the heat,
what he did, what food he discovered after he didn't have to like
others things in
diet anymore, and he's like cheeseburgers. I'd never had a cheeseburger in my life. That is amazing.
The side of extreme caution, because it is extreme heat. The East Coast should not be 105 degrees right now, and we're in a new era, the climate era. We're going to have to prepare how people in the summers in these hot zones, when it pops, how we can make sure we don't unnecessarily lose people.
Pop it back.
Happening in Europe and some in the United States.
You talked about 1976 and compared it to what you're seeing today, but go back then. What was the mood of the country? What were the causes there, and how did it impact eventually how people celebrated back then?
Well, my take on the bicentennial, and again, I was living in Ohio, town of Perrysburg, and Neil Armstrong was from Wapakoneta, Ohio, down the road. And we were all pretty still pumped up about Project Apollo and all the moonwalkers we had. And that was a sense of American can-doism. When I interviewed Neil Armstrong for NASA, he had told me, he was a 70th birthday, that he thought historians need to write more about engineers, more about people that, he always felt going to the moon
engineering
wasn't about himself,
the number one profession,
or it was
most likely to become a terrorist.
Engineering apparatus that we've had in our country. And so from my perch as a 16-year-old, I was all in on the bicentennial, collecting memorabilia. There's the train going across America showing artifacts that I was deeply engaged in. But Gerald Ford, our accidental president, decided incorrectly made the 4th a uniting, healing moment. His memoirs called A Time to Heal. And he came in and had to pardon Nixon, while many of Nixon's other aides went to jail.
Yeah, that didn't.
Got Watergate kind of behind.
That didn't heal the nation.
And then got us
kind of tore us apart.
War because Democrats in Congress forced his hand. But nevertheless, as we rolled into July 4th in 1976, it was America's back. It was the long 60s, ended in 73, 74, and we were in a new era of unity of some kind. And it's remarkable Ford was able to do that because we're in the middle of political season, the summer of 1976. Out of all the big Democrats that ran, from George Wallace to, Jerry Brown, Frank Church, Hubert Humphrey, the list is long. It was Jimmy Carter, a one-term governor from Georgia, who that summer of 76 procured the Democratic nomination, and Gerald Ford was able to nudge out Ronald Reagan, who was representing the conservative wing of the Republican Party. And, it could have been a slugfest, Democrat Republicans in 1976, but it wasn't. The country pulled together with a good sense of, aren't we proud that our Constitution, our founding document, held up under the strain of Watergate? That was a big deal. We did it. Yes, it was hard. All the Senate committee hearings and Nixon's resignation and the tapes, but we persevered because the Constitution held up. Since the 76, we're less triumphalism goes on about American history. People are looking at the flaws more of founders, particularly slavery was a big one. Most of the signers of the Declaration of Independence had slaves. And my field of history, historiography, academic history.
It is going to be a while. They're currently delaying the festivities. He was scheduled to speak around 9:30.
Voices of the past that we hadn't really grappled with. Skip Gates, who runs the E.B. Du Bois Center at Harvard, looking for the genealogical charts.
They have evacuated the site
Americans and what is their heritage and things. So that's been a change since 76, how we look at the founders. But
that's why C-SPAN is filling time with a history professor.
Now to go back to the kind of why are we beating up on Jefferson? Why are we beating up on Washington? And so it's sort of evening itself out a little bit. But for President Trump, this became America 250, exact opposite of Gerald Ford. He wanted to make this about his 80th birthday connected to July 4th, 250, and it would be remembered in the history books as the Trump Day, as he said, the biggest rally he was expecting on the Mall. And of course, the East Wing of the White House went down for a ballroom and supposed to get a arc of Trump in town, but veterans don't like it because it's marring views from Arlington. The Potomac River has been deeply polluted this year. Who do you blame?
It apparently smells like
Washington,
shit.
D.C. I don't know, but we can read about it and get the river needs clean because, it's not a time to throw away environmental standards, in my view, for clean air and clean water. And, these are things that should be bipartisan. And alas, that's even getting debated, what our standards are to make sure, our natural resources are properly used and administrated.
Doug Brinkley will be with us as we
do you think Pedro's annoyed?
For the Salute to America to restart. We are being told that possibly as the weather, as you can see there from the shot, is starting to clear up a little bit in Washington, D.C.
Or were you just being like, he's annoying Pedro because they can't go to anything?
If that is the case, then some things might be amended in order.
Oh, that guy was totally woke.
Thing on schedule.
He said pretty much the same thing I said to Pedro yesterday.
Talking to Mr. Brinkley as well. You can ask him questions on the phone lines.
About Trump making it all about himself and the tone in the country. He just didn't follow it with, the pedophile should drop dead.
For the Mountain and Pacific time zones. And Mr. Brinkley, thank you again for giving us your time.
Well, of course.
Well, talk a little bit about the durability of America. What do you think that's attributed to?
Oh, that's my favorite topic. 250 years American perseverance against all odds. The founding documents get reinterpreted by different generations, but they're there for us to bend and use. One of the issues, though, in the end, it's about our armed forces that have been able not just to win the American Revolution by leadership of George Washington and Nathaniel Greene and many others who gave their lives with assistance from France and General Lafayette. And we could, I'm a huge admirer of Washington's leadership. It's a rare skill Washington had. We can talk forever about, how smart John Adams is on law or Jefferson's writing, but it was Washington who had an intimidating kind of presence. It was able to pull 13 colonies together.
He was apparently a thug.
President. I was reflecting on his inaugural in New York today, because you can go to Federal Hall and there's some, a part of the balcony. You can go actually see it in the Federal Hall building today. I recommend it. But Washington, our government ran out of New York City originally. But after that, Washington set precedents for our Constitution and what is the presidency. But
wasn't it New Amsterdam?
We built our Navy. We started building the Continental Army into the U.S. Army.
No, I'm pretty sure it was New York by that time.
Coast Guard that is so essential. And with the war,
I just wanted to make a Might Be John's joke.
Your overview of Washington, D.C., and Britain wasn't done just because of the Battle of Yorktown. They came back hard. And if it wasn't for brave heroes of the United States of the 1812 and 1813-14. I'm thinking of people like Oliver Hazard Perry in the naval battles of Lake Erie, or Andrew Jackson at the Battle of New Orleans, and many other key points. The British burned Washington, D.C. on a march up the East Coast, and in Baltimore, when the smoke cleared in the morning, as the Star-Spangled Banner tells us, the flag was still there. And once we got the Treaty of Ghent and the War of 1812 was over, now we sometimes call the 1820s the era of good feelings. And we started really building the United States, but we never grappled with the issue of slavery. And
no, we did not.
It was a Pandora's box. And it's going to pop up and get us at some point. And you look at the 1840s with Western expansion and Mexican-American War, but slavery's all
and over again in expansion.
It's really
because they had to admit a free state and a slave state.
Abraham Lincoln wins and comes to Washington, and we had to fight that Civil War. But at the end, it's Lincoln who starts giving us new foundational documents to make our country great, like his first inaugural and second inaugural, but more specifically, the genius of the Gettysburg Address, and of course, the Emancipation Proclamation, later backed by the 14th Amendment. Now we're moving to all men are created equal, no slavery, and we're fighting to find equal rights. We celebrate women in 1920, women's suffrage, but it's white women who were able to start voting. But that evolves over time, and it's a fight to get equal rights and eventually and do
now it's a fight just to keep the rights that we have, let alone expand rights.
Civil rights movement, and Republicans like Everett Dirksen and others joining this joint cause. We were able by 1964-65 to feel that we were living up to the Declaration and the Constitution. But look at what our military, you're looking overview there, and you go to Arlington or go to any...
Well, that's why the government of France acts completely different towards its people.
Cemetery in Illinois, and you just, it's mind-boggling. Just think young men and women going, like even now, and are overseas and putting their lives on the line for democracy, for duty, honor, country. And the traditions of West Point and the Naval Academy and then the Air Force Academy and what we do and train, it's just remarkable. So why are we here? Because of the sacrifice of men and women in the armed forces and people struggling for equal rights.
You're looking at the lime shop, Warlord. It's actually clearing up a little bit.
Let's hear from Lisa. Lisa joins us from Florida. Lisa, hi there. You're on.
Good afternoon. Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful, wonderful celebration. I'm going to make this real quick as possible. I'm 62 years old. I grew up on Long Island, New York. And when I was little, running around with the sparklers and everything, celebrating 4th of July, I didn't know really about what it meant. I just knew it was a good time of eating and fun. But as I got older, it became bittersweet. And I say this because I asked my father, I said, well, what were because I am a black American, what were we doing at that time? Because when I studied in school, we weren't free. So he began to tell me that, no, we weren't, but still have respect and love for this country. We're here. We helped build it. We nurtured it. We did so many inventions. We are the blood and sweat of this country, a lot of us. So, as now when I heard the gentleman talking, Mr. Brinkley, and he was saying certain things about slavery, it's just that I don't mind all these celebrations. I think they're beautiful. God bless America. But if they could have just etched in there someplace about, even if it was all the inventions that we did, something to let us know that we mattered, even though...
Ma'am, the administration is incredibly racist.
It didn't matter. And so...
They not only aren't going to throw you a bone during this 250 celebration, they are actively trying to erase your contributions to the country.
I don't love America. I cherish it. It's brought me many opportunities for me and my children. But I just, want people to know. And if people, the lady that was on earlier, she said something pertaining to, we don't want to have people to have feelings about that. But she said they can handle it. And I do believe America can handle it. We're grown up. We're mature. So it's okay to mention it that everybody wasn't free at that time.
Okay.
But praise God.
Okay, Lisa, thanks. Doug Brinkley, I want you to get back and comment to that, but I do want to hold off for just a second as we go back to Boston. Let's hear from Philadelphia. I'm sorry, we'll go back to Philadelphia.
Going to Philly.
Kate will join us for an update.
We learned how the Liberty Bell got cracked earlier.
Yeah, and we're where it all happened. We're right in front of Independence Hall. I am here with two colonial citizens. They happen to be a brother and sister. This is Jackie and Josh. And not only did they
were fucking
in these amazing clothes today, but I think their grandmother made them. Is that the story, Jackie?
Yes, my grandmother made this dress. She was a daughter of the Revolution and wore it to Colonial Williamsburg about 40 years ago. And then my mother pulled it out and modified it for me to wear today.
Incredible. And same story with you, or was this made to suit?
No, this was made very recently, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you all decide? You're not from Philadelphia, right?
No.
So why did you all decide to come to Philadelphia for America's 250th birthday?
This was like the most intensive day of broadcasting C-SPAN has done.
Where all the great minds
other than like maybe presidential election.
There's just so much history in this small little area. So to be able to dress up and kind of put yourself where they were is pretty awesome.
So in the time that we've been standing here, I can't even count the number of people that have come to take pictures with you and video. You're going to be in everybody's 250th birthday scrapbooks, right? So how does that make you feel?
It's pretty fun.
It's fun.
Also, when I made the incest joke, I was assuming that they were brother and sister in colonial times, but they're actually brother and sister dressed up.
50th.
So disregard my joke.
Ourselves out of the colonial time for a minute, and really let's talk about today. What does it mean to you today?
It means, personally to me, it means an incredible amount to be able to remember the history of...
Is he gonna cry?
And the amount of work that they put into to creating something, and this was passed on. This was something that was passed on for us to inherit, for us to continue on. So appreciating that, remembering that, this is our patrimony. This is what we've been gifted. So,
do you have any additional thoughts?
I wholeheartely agree, and it is such a privilege to be in this time that we get to celebrate the 250th, and yes, it's very, very much a privilege.
So in this time, what are we going to be doing for the rest of the 4th? How are we celebrating?
We decided to go all in. So we're camping. We're making hardtack. She's pretty good at making period food. So it's pretty fun. I got
what kind of food
for the day that is made. What the soldiers would
anonymously welcome in.
Visited Valley Forge. We came here.
Coexisting or like have cuddled up with each other.
Historic sites.
Wow. Well, I'm inviting.
Or just give it time.
That sounds interesting and different. Thank you very much for joining us, and happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Back to you, Pedro.
C-SPAN's Kate Michael, thank you very much. Again, let's get the sense of the weather situation. Philadelphia, it seems like
it's clearing up.
Look, blue skies coming back to the Washington, D.C. area. Again, we are waiting to see what the, even though if you switch perspectives of Union Station there, a little bit of gray skies there, but there's a shot of the U.S. Capitol. It looked like clearing skies when it comes to what's happening there. Again, we're expecting activities to start for freedom, the Salute to America, roughly around 8 o'clock is what we're aiming at. We'll see if that happens, and we will...
you ain't aiming at anything, Pedro.
Doug Brinkley, before we stopped, the viewer had brought up her being an African-American, her factoring those issues as we look at 250. You referenced it, but how would you elaborate on that?
Well, she's absolutely right. I mean, there's no such thing as too much history, and for too long...
give us the history, bitch.
History had been, as I said, kind of nobody was concerned about it. But we have these pivot moments in 1926 out of when Philadelphia was...
Pedro doesn't tolerate my bullshit.
150 years old. There started becoming the birth of, what back then was Negro history. And, you had Woodson and others starting right out of using that year in the 20s to start kind of moving forward, where today we have Black Studies departments all across the country at universities. Does not mean that erases anything. It just means we got to add to America's narrative all the time. And I think when Barack Obama was elected president, there was a feeling that, wow, after all the white presidents, now there's an African-American man, still no woman. But people have been a little surprised that after Obama, some of the civil rights, energy and laws are going in the opposite direction. And, we've got to really understand what Selma was and what it meant for Black Americans to get equality, and the showdown in places like Birmingham and Montgomery and Atlanta and Greensboro in the 1960s. It's history that matters. You've got to read about groups like SNCC and CORE, the great, incredible history of the NAACP, which was actually created, the NAACP, because of a Springfield riot where black people were lynched in Springfield in the early 20th century. And W.E.B. Du Bois and others moved to create the NAACP and journals. And, so the point is, a lot of things happened in the past. We're not even talking about indigenous people, the plight of Native Americans, but we've got this Declaration of Independence.
Oh, yeah, this guy is super woke.
Most special, incredible country. There's nowhere else I want to live. People from all over the world want to come here. If you want to call it my belief in American exceptionalism, I'm okay with that. But we have to be inclusive, not exclusive, when we do our history. And it's not, the debates have been over what statues should be up and down, and is this woke or not woke? And it's really about history as fairness, making sure, whether you're Hispanic or a recent immigrant from Africa, a mayor of New York City, Mandami, was speaking here July 4th, and he's born in Uganda, and here he is, the mayor of New York City. So you have to believe in the American.
He gave a speech that was far more unifying than Trump's from last night. That's for sure.
This country, if you work hard, put your shoulder to the wheel, you can move and advance forward. And the diversity of our country is just awesome. You go to anywhere in any city and you meet people from everywhere. People from Sudan or from Haiti to countries that hurt. They're really hurting. We don't even want to know what's going on in Haiti right now because it's so brutal. But so when you meet a Haitian American that's entrepreneurial and got there and getting started, help them and say, we're glad, welcome, you're here. We have to stop demonizing immigrants. We are a nation of immigrants, and people.
Yes, but that's woke.
Spoke about that as well as anybody. People want to understand immigration history from a presidential perspective. Listen to Reagan's last talks about it before he left, in the 1980s. So it's a bipartisan thing. Not right.
Wait a minute. What construction is going on in the front of the White House?
And
I just noticed the scaffolding.
Special, and that's what defines our national bounty.
Boy, they're getting ready to do.
From Cedar Falls, we'll hear from Adam. Hi, Adam.
Hey, Pedro and Mr. Brinkley. First off, I want to say that America means a lot to me. This is a great country. We've got a great military, which we should support, by the way, which I support our Army because I have a grandpa and two uncles that served in the Army, which one of them served in NAM. And Mr. Brinkley, you brought up Obama. Since you're a history professor, I was wondering, what do you tell your students about what all happened during his first presidency?
Well, thank you for asking the question. I don't know how many people remember, but 1968 Chicago, Grant, the park, Grant's Park across, from Michigan Avenue and all the great museums there. That was a kind of a very disruptive Democratic National Convention with Mayor Daley's police and the like, and Grant Park had tear gas and arrests, and it kind of got stigmatized, and then cut to when Barack Obama won in 2008. He gave his speech that he won that election in Grant Park. Not one arrest or ticket written, 200,000+ people coming into the streets, and we had reclaimed Grant Park. The joy that was felt with Obama's victory. And then, of course, he worked to get us out of the Great Recession, which don't forget how grim that was. Saved companies like General Motors. He moved forward for the Affordable Care Act, which cost him a lot of political capital and we'll see how history treats that in the end. But Obama had a lot on his plate to prove that he can do good governance, because it wasn't just that he was going to be a black hero like Frederick Douglass or Marcus Garvey or Julian Bond. He was going to be what was aiming of Mount Rushmore, right? I'm being judged not on the color of my skin, but on my performance. And after 2 terms, I believe Obama could have won a 3rd term. He was that popular with the American people. And even today, you read public opinion polls for Barack and Michelle Obama, it's sky high. And they open in Chicago this June, the Obama Center, which is in Lincoln Park by the University of Chicago, by Hyde Park, in the south side of Chicago, the black neighborhood, which gave birth to so many great things, the South Side, and now Obama is there. When I say great things, I'm thinking really in music and art, culture, a place where Nat King Cole and Lou Rawls and Diana Washington and Sam Cooke and the Staple Singers and Muddy Waters and Willie Dixon and all these incredible black artists in that small area just in the south side of Chicago, where Obama's center now stands. So he's an undeniable force in American history, a 2-termer who things like at that moment we were stuck in the war on terror. We're hurting from 9/11. George W. Bush created Homeland Security. Our airports got tighter. We went into Iran and Afghanistan, but it was Obama with Operation Neptune Spear, working with Admiral McRaven and our great SEALs that went and identified and got Osama bin Laden in his.
So the White House says the scaffolding is to do.
We're just beginning Obama studies.
Routine
historians have like a 20
restoration work on the column.
All the documents out, and you can understand.
That's all they've said about it
during that presidency. So it's just a little premature for Obama, but it's happening in real time. People are assessing him as they are George W. Bush, and what his accomplishments and failures, or Bill Clinton's. And there's something unique. We live in a celebrity culture in America, and that's just the way we are. And the presidents are the celebrities, period. They enter a room, they steal the show. And so, it's amazing that we went to meet a former president and to meet somebody like Obama or Bush or Bill Clinton, for many people to just meet President Trump or Joe Biden. It's the presidents kind of connect us in U.S. history, because we talk about an era, the Nixon years or the Carter years or the Kennedy years. And so it's a cohesive thing, U.S. presidential history, and Obama's big for breaking the paradigm of only white men. And he proved, not that he needed to on the sense of race, but he proved he can run the U.S. government well and effectively.
Before we go back to calls, let's get an update on the weather situation and what it means for the start of this Salute to America.
It's still looking pretty rough over Grand Central Station.
Weather's way along with others, but Tammy, hi there.
Hi, Pedro. We are still here on the ground. It's been a lot of information and a lot of chaos right now here as they try to evacuate everyone. People slowly starting to leave, and then somebody yelled that it was back open. That caused people to start running back and trying to grab seats again. Secret Service started running and telling them, no, it is closed. There is a mandatory evacuation. They've given a number of buildings and told people to take cover there, including the Commerce Department, the African American Museum, the Ronald Reagan building. You may hear people from time to time yell, let's go, let's go. They are trying to herd people out, but this number of people, it is a slow process at the best. We still haven't been given any update on whether or not the program will continue or when. There just seems to be a lot of confusion as they try to get people out of this area.
What's the weather situation? If you look at the skies, we're showing people the high view of what that we're seeing there, but what do you see there on the ground?
Yeah, it is the dark skies, a lot of clouds. There's zero sun except for maybe one.
Okay, Twitch people, would you like to go back to watching a couple of classic 4th of July specials and check back in at the top of the hour? It seems like it's going to be a little bit before the event
not moving. We are seeing lightning strikes from time to time. Haven't seen
continues
rain yet. Haven't felt any rain. And no, not really windy, but you can definitely tell the storm is getting closer.
We're showing people shots of Union Station right now, and some of the flags there.
I'll call it Grand Central. I'm sorry, Union Station.
Up at least where we are, and you
Grand Central is New York.
Wind, how does that? You may have mentioned that, but wind, any significant wind there?
We can definitely tell that there is wind. The circle of American flags that surround the base of the Washington Monument are definitely all, waving. So there is definitely wind. It's not as strong as it was at one point before the evacuation, where there were a lot of strong gusts. In fact, our colleagues who were at CBS, and they were set up next to us, they had left. They had stepped away from their gear, and their camera and tripod tipped over. So it was, and if anyone has ever lifted one of those, they're not light, they're not light pieces of equipment. So it was a lot of wind at one point.
C-SPAN's Tammy Thuringer watching the skies and the situation there as we're awaiting the start of the activities connected to Salute to America. Tammy, thank you. Stay safe as always. Let's hear from Dan. Dan in Illinois. Dan, thanks for staying with us as we continue our coverage on this Independence Day of America at 250. Dan, hello.
Yes, hello, Pedro. Thank you. Yes, hello.
You are on, Dan. Go ahead.
All righty. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, C-SPAN. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you, America, for your unwavering commitment to a transparent and open democracy. To America, obviously, thank you for upholding the foundational principles of free speech and public discourse. To y'all at C-SPAN, thank you for providing an unfiltered look at government for over, for how our government works for over 45 years, 47, I think it is to this day. And your commercial-free and, nonpartisan coverage empowers, citizens like myself to watch history unfold without bias. And together, you ensure that accountability remains at the heart of our beautiful...
I agree with everything he's saying about C-SPAN. C-SPAN is awesome.
The best of the Midwest, Dan.
That's Dan there in Illinois. Just after 8 o'clock on the East Coast, as we continue our coverage of America at 250 on this Independence Day. It's the second day for us doing that. We started yesterday at 7 o'clock in the morning. We will continue on through the early morning hours as we show you the sights and sounds from various cities across the United States. We've been doing that for the last 2 days. Now Washington, D.C., our focus as the Salute to America program currently on pause, waiting to see when it will restart. And you can follow along and keep watching us on our various platforms, also on our sister channel, C-SPAN 2 and 3, a lot of other
welcome in
content when it comes to the birth of our nation, where we are.
It appears it's at least going to be another hour.
You can watch it all play.
So I am sorry, we are going to conclude the Troll Patrol for now and come back in about an hour. YouTube people, Facebook people, podcast people. All you podcast people aren't even going to hear this. I won't even post that. That was nothing. We'll come back on here live in about an hour. Twitch people, stick with me. We're going to watch more television specials.